Just the other day, we had a webinar that talked about a loyalty platform that we call Guardoe. And Guardoe platform implies that we're putting an app in the hands of a consumer. Let me demonstrate. So if I'm opening my phone, there's a little icon. It says Guardoe. Let me see. Here it is. It wants me to log in, and I log in, but it shows me all the stores that I have here. Now, imagine here I have a social districting. First, let me give you a little bit of background what social districting is, at least as how I understand it. If you recall, in 2020, as COVID hit, one of the most hit segments was the restaurants. They were shut down. And obviously, restaurants were seeking for ways to reopen as fast as possible. And one of those ways turned out to be pretty innovative. And I'm not really sure who came up with it, but it started happening pretty much in every downtown area in all the cities across the United States, at least in the ones that I've visited, where downtown, a certain section of the street is blocked to traffic, and the restaurants would build out a deck right on the street, and then customers are served outside, and that allows for the restrictions from COVID to be a little bit more lax because you're not in the building. Apparently, the next step from this was called social districting. It has to do with alcohol, because now you have a situation where there's a street and no cars, right? Cars aren't allowed. And every restaurant on that street has a liquor license, or bar, restaurant, whatever. They already have a liquor license, even the stores. And there's no cars, no driving, guaranteed, because everything is just blacked off. And so social districting removes the requirement that says that while you're drinking alcohol, you have to be inside whatever the building you're drinking. Now you can buy something, go outside, roam around, and chambers of commerce are sort of using this to encourage an event-like behavior. Let me describe, right? Like, so for example, you have some sort of an event that's seasonal. Like the thing that comes to mind is the fairgrounds. Here in San Diego, we have Del Mar Fair, right? Fairs. Because a fair is like a thing where there's entertainers and restaurants. They sort of come to your city and they set up, and there's like a bunch of retailers there because every single one of them, will transact. And then people come, they get entertained, they eat food, and they leave. And that happens for a certain amount of time. Well, imagine that, but no time limit, where the Chamber of Commerce says, these are the places that can do the, buy a drink and go outside type of situation. And there needs to be an interface that allows whatever the regulation entity or event managers in that case to set up and say, these are the merchants, these are the stores, right? And each store then goes into their account and says, these are the items that I will be selling. And the organizing entity, such as for events or the Chamber of Commerce, needs to look at those items and say, approved, not approved, right? And then those items show up on the consumer app. So the consumer has an app that has a map. Now that map can be defined in the sense of event, right? Because we can just outline the boundaries and say, these are the stores inside this boundary. I mean, boundary is not important. It's just kind of defined based on the stores that are there. But these are the stores that are participating in this event. The event can be time-bound or not time-bound. It could just be about something else entirely, like social districting. Or it could be a fair where all the retailers are registered. There is a mechanism that allows the organizing party to control what what stores are listing inside the items they're listing. And then all of that is exposed to consumers on a consumer app. Let me demonstrate. So here I am logging into Guardoe app, and this is consumer experience. I'm going to start sort of from the consumer experience. And you'll notice that the map zooms out far enough to show me all of my stores. If I were to log into a different account, the one that had a little bit more stores, that would be a little bit more visible. Now you can see that now it's zoomed out. Basically, it shows the entire United States because on this account, my stores are sort of spread out from, far west to the smack in the middle to far east. And that is what I'm trying to say. And at the same time, the app is trying to find where I'm at because it's all about location. So this is a very location dependent product. We're not even bothering to make a desktop version of it. Right now, I'm using a laptop and it's still showing me a mobile interface because the implication is that it's going to get used on a mobile device 100% of the time. And when they're on a desktop, we still want them to allow for the location. Right, so the location is allowed, and now it's going to find me entirely elsewhere. But I can, again, click on my stores, and that zooms me in to the view where my stores are. And then from here, I can navigate to each store. So now I'm back onto this other account, and again, I'm going to allow the location. It will find me. I'm going to zoom out and find the stores. So this is where I'm at. It finds me, but then I want to say show me my stores, and it will. And I can go inside each individual store, right, and have the ability to pull it up right here, and it tells me that okay, well, there is these discounts that are available from this store. And this is what we're already using today. Our merchants are using this today. And then these are the products that the consumer gets to see that they've purchased throughout all the stores. They can basically either choose the store and then kind of zero in and say, this is what I'm buying in this store. And they see the discounts, right, and the coupons. So these things that haven't basically materialized yet, they're in the progress, right? So like a punch card solution. So we're counting visits, for example, to give them $20, and they're on visit number 3. And then once they get this coupon goes into discounts because it's usable, and it will show up, as a coupon like that. That says, there's the discount for 50. Let me find another one. And so these are discounts and like everything that the merchant has. Now, how would this be used in the social districting use case, right? So the component for the social districting or the event for the consumer would show up here, right? And then from here, it's not that hard to imagine that they would see, this is their list, but we can say, okay, this is you're inside the social, you're inside the event, and there can be even some boundaries that are defined by the store because we already have that. It's just a matter of maybe doing some highlighting. And the stores inside would each have their own items listed, their own discounts listed. And the funny thing is, even if you're selling, tickets for your event, you could send them as coupons here, and then people can just come and redeem them if need be. But I don't know if that's the case for the social districting and the chamber people. But for the most part, I think there would be the needed, and I wouldn't be able to kind of show this right now. I don't quite have it. But imagine user interface for the chamber or the manager of the event, where you get to define which stores are in, and then each store lists their inventory that they wish to sell, and you have to approve that for them. If it's not approved, then they don't. It doesn't show up here for the consumer. Once it's approved, then it shows up for the consumer inside that store for that event during that time or indefinitely. What do you think?